Shup family. It's your boy, yours truly, Ricky T. Anthony, with another Ricky's Rants. The Olympics are coming to an end. It's Saturday, the second to last day of the Olympics. Today's the 20th. And I want to talk about PEDs, because there's been a lot of talk about that. Who's taking, who's not taking, whatever. I'm just telling you my take on what it is. Here it is. I believe that at least 80% of the elite athletes in the Olympics are on something. Might be steroids, might be growth hormone, but they are on something. And when you really think about it, let me use the sprints as an example. Before Ben Johnson in '88 Olympics, everybody was pretty much on par, and he crushed the Olympic record. He crushed the Olympic record. Not eked it out, but crushed it. Tested positive. Since then, Tyson Gay, Justin Gatlin, Maurice Green, I believe Donovan Bailey, not sure about Donovan, but I believe he too, also Linford Christie of England, they all tested positive at some point in time after that. Guess what? They all equaled or broke Ben Johnson's record. Think about that for a second. Whether they were caught in the Olympics, World Games, Pan Am Games, or whatever other games, they all equaled or beat Ben Johnson's record. A known performance-enhancing drug user. And to this day, Ben Johnson was the only person to have a lifetime ban from Olympic competition. Why? Because he shamed America, and America back then was like the chosen one, the golden child, America the Great. And he got a lifetime ban. Only athlete ever to get a lifetime ban for a first-time test. Justin Gatlin competed in this Olympics. Tyson Gay competed. Many other athletes before that got popped competed. But now here's the thing. Love Usain Bolt. I love these competitions, and I don't give a rat's ass who's using, who's not using, how much they're using, what they use. I don't give a rat's ass. I love the competitiveness of the games. But let's be real. Usain Bolt came along and shattered, obliterated, annihilated, and destroyed the previous Olympic and world record. Do you think he's not on something? Let's be real. Maybe he's only sniffing shoe polish. I don't give a damn. But do you honestly think he is not on something? And the Jamaican team is not on what? All they're eating is the mountain yam, the blue mountain yam, and that's what's getting them over? Really? Look, whole clean foods are great. Right? It's better than the chemical enhanced foods that they're giving us. It's better for the body. It's more natural. And we function better. But on a performance level, no natural food or chemically enhanced food can compare to drugs. Chemically enhanced drugs. GH, testosterone, EPO, etc., etc. Now, with all that said, when you talk about a level playing field, what is a level playing field? What is a level playing field? Think about it for a second. I'll start here. The drug EPO is used to raise your red blood cell count, making you better adapted to absorbing oxygen, giving you increased aerobic performance, so you can run distances better and not falter. Even in sprints, it helps you because you can suck in more oxygen, and just like a performance car, when you open up the carburetor or whatever you have and suck more oxygen into that engine, it shoots off. So think about it. That's what EPO does. EPO is illegal. Now, let's use a testosterone steroid called equipoise. Equipoise, over time, after injecting in 3, 4, 5 weeks, increases your red blood cell count. Same thing as EPO. So you can run faster, train longer, run further, do whatever you're doing. Right? Now, a hyperbaric chamber. Sleeping in a hyperbaric chamber or laying down in one after you train greatly increases your red blood cell count. Same as the other two. Right? Gives you an unfair advantage. Now, they say Kenyans, in certain parts of Kenya, it's a high altitude. Training at high altitudes is proven to raise your red blood cell count. You can run faster, run longer, etc., etc. You become more competitive. They all four do the same thing. The first two are illegal. The second two are legal. If you're from a country that's in a low altitude and you choose not to take drugs and you don't have the money to buy hyperbaric chambers for your team, is that a level playing field? Competing against people that have access to high altitudes or can buy hyperbaric chambers? So let's cut the bullshit. Let's put it to the real. The only natural, pure, if you want to be so holy about and so high and mighty about natural products and not using any performance enhancing products, everybody needs to compete butt naked in a loincloth and eating the same meat, potatoes, and bread that the Romans ate back in the day, that the Greeks ate back in the day when they first started this sport. Because they competed for meat, not trophies and money, for a piece of meat, which means they were starving. And they ran barefoot in a loincloth. So if your country or company can afford better shoes than mine, don't you have an unfair advantage? So look here, put those high morals off the shelf, because at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, and these people want to feed their families and make money for their families and bring glory to their country and feed their people, as the gene pool gets smaller, because let's say with America, 50 states, you're the best in your high school in whatever sport. Now you compete against other high schools. Now you go to college, and it's the best of the best in high schools that get the scholarship. So now it's a smaller pool, but you're competing against other colleges in the country. Now you have to make the Olympic team. The best of the best make the Olympic team. And you remember where you came from, the lifestyle you had, the lifestyle your family has, and what you can bring it. The temptation of drugs is real. And you might not take it then. But once you're competing against the best in the world, think about that. An Olympic medal and notoriety brings millions and millions in endorsements and contracts. Even on a national level. Think about it. You don't have to make it to the Olympics, but once you're the best in America or the best in your country, England, Australia, whatever, and they're trying to promote you, it brings millions and millions of dollars, or at least hundreds of thousands. So think about that. The temptation of drugs then. And finally, I'll throw in this. The drug test can always be beaten. Why? Because it's like cops and robbers. The thieves or the criminals come up with a scheme. The cops got to figure out the scheme. Once they figure it out, they know what to do. Then the thieves come up with another scheme. And the cops will try to figure that out, and so on and so on. It's like in warfare. You create a better bullet, I'll create better armor. And then you have to create a bullet to get through that armor, and I'll create armor to stop that bullet. And it's the war game going on. So with drugs, it's the same thing. I'll create a great drug, you create a test to stop me. And when you create that test, I'll create a better drug. That's what's going on. That's why now they're starting to keep drug tests, blood tests for 2, 3, and 4 Olympics, and keep testing it to see if the new test they have can find out what you were taking 4, 8, 12 years ago. That's the reality of the game. So I'm not saying that Bolt is taken or not taken, but to think that he has not taken anything in his life based on the reality, hey, And I challenge anyone to go back and refute what I'm saying. Go back, look at the Olympic records, look at the world records, and look at how man progresses. Man progresses like this, on a slow arc, very slow. What happened is it went like this, and it's unnatural, very unnatural. So we do this, then there's a jump. Then we do this, and there's a jump. Then we do this, and there's a jump. That is why Flojo's record has not been broken yet. Maybe she was on something, maybe not. I don't know. But think about it. Look at when she made her record. Back in the 80s. We're in 2016 and it ain't broken. Yet in the 80s, Ben Johnson put his record up. And now we're in 2016 and about 10, 12 guys has broken his record. Think about that for a second. I'm just being real. Now, people say my reality, because I say it isn't truth, but I'm challenging you to go back and look at those numbers. Research them, Google them, look wherever you want to go, Wikipedia, I don't care. And then prove me wrong. That's all I'm saying. But enough respect. And the funny thing is, before I close out, like somebody else said, records are falling drastically, like in swimming. Like, okay, you can have one or two great events, but like Phelps had records in like, I don't know, 4, 5, 10,000 events. You know what I'm saying? He had like the record in like, realistically, in like 5 or 6 of them. Let's be real. Or whatever it was. He had the record in a lot when he was at his prime. That has never been done before by an athlete. If you're a breaststroker, you might have the record in breaststroke, but you won't have the record in backstroke, freestyle, and whatever. No, you don't. You don't normally do that. And free, you don't normally do that. You don't. No one has ever done that. Even Mark Spitz with all his records and what he did back in the day. But Phelps held a majority of those records. Think about that for a second. And everybody's smashing records in swimming. Even the chick from the Olympics from America, 19 years old, and she is crushing records. I mean, when she swam that race, it was like she could have gotten out of the pool, had an ice cream, and finished the cone before the person came in second hit the end of the pool. Really? Think about. Let's be real. It is what it is. But that said, just enjoy the games. Enjoy what it is. I enjoy seeing people win, see people lose, seeing their emotions, seeing their triumphs, and hearing their backstories. And that's what it's all about for me. But at the same time, I am real about the shit. And that's why cycling was called the dirtiest sport. And look at Lance Armstrong beat tests for years. The Russian team for the Olympics had a whole scheme from the top down to crush the drug tests. And if not for whistleblowers, they would not have found out. So which means they could have came in here and crushed all the sports and won all the medals. And let's face it, if they found them out 10 years later, how would have the people that played second felt 10 years later, not being in the Olympics on the podium? So let's be real. I support Usain Bolt. I love him. And I hope he competes one more to become the greatest track athlete. Right now, he is already the greatest track athlete in the history of the game. Not track and field, because he never did the long jump like Carl Lewis and the other guys, but he's the greatest track athlete. And I hope he comes back for one more and crushes. But if not, I understand, because the competition is getting fiercer, they're getting closer. Michael Phelps, I applaud him. Ryan Lochte, kiss my ass because you're lying, Lochte. And I support American countries, the Caribbean countries, and any country that does great. Make it a great games. Love y'all, bless y'all. And I'm getting real about the drugs in sports on your funky asses. And I'm out.